Hey guys, here to get into one of my all-time favorite bands, Sleater-Kinney. They've been a band. I've been a big fan of the album "The Woods" since I first heard it, which was released in 2005. But they've been coming back to me lately, and I just feel like as I plunge into them, they are the ultimate force of a feminine band that just expresses, perhaps better than most masculine bands do, at what freaking great hard rock can do for you. And this is music that just has a lot of complexity and soul on the inside. So just I feel like I'm still taking in some of this band in so many ways, but it's just such a genius legacy that leaves behind. I mean, especially the album "The Woods." I feel like that is an album that's heavily influenced by Abbey Road. It's like we're just gonna break the freaking rules in every single way possible. So this is like the epitome of the 2000s energy, even though they subbed it in the 90s. So, subtitle album "Sleater-Kinney" that came out in 1995. This is certainly a build up to the band. You can hear them kind of developing a lot of the signature sounds and a lot of the guitar work, but it kind of builds up into something that just progresses more and more. It just gets all kinds of fire as it goes. It's just pretty awesome. Um, you don't really hear bands like this too often. That's the big thing about them. I feel like it's just really impressive sound all around. It feels like they kind of built up from the next album called Rock in 1996 to something a little more like lo-fi, which is a big step up in the soundscape. Honestly, they're great when they're just pure gritty, raw to the point, and they really just tighten the sound of attack whenever they need to. And it's just ends up being very focused and developed the entire way through. And I feel like the results are showing. This is admittedly a band. I don't actually sit down and take in some of the songs. I like to just go on road trips, just listen to the albums, blare it really hard. This boy doesn't sound good. Like songs like "I Want to Be Your Joey Ramone," certainly like a more complex Ramones energy, certainly going into all this. It certainly is, and the Clash's influence too. "Stay Where You Are," yeah, that's just one of the best riffs. I love that one so much, in the way that the energy just goes way beyond the standard that you would expect, and it feels like they probably were hearing Steely Dan wanting to kick that soft rock energy into high because they wanted to get because they were just too pissed off and wanted to be sloppy as hell. That's the thing. Sleater-Kinney is just so perfect. This sound that kind of builds up here. It's like I've heard the genre called Riot Girl, which seems to me to be condescending, but I've always been interested maybe to hear a woman's perspective on why maybe that condescending. I don't know. It seems like it is to me. But to me, this is just the essence of it's female punk rock, basically. Punk rock, I should say. Take out the genre that's really universal. Punk rock. It's the best kind of punk rock there is. This band is awesome when they're pissed off. They're pissed off whenever they're on here in a really, really healthy kind of way. We have in 1997 Dig Me Out. And this is just the band increasingly moving up from the indie label and just getting into something that's more crisp in the guitar tone, a little more sharp in the vocal performances, but you kind of just have very complicated rhythms moving all throughout, like movements of guitar, and it things just get better and better as songs a little bit. So I think that the songs like the drama you've been craving, things you say, there's this rage going into it. You think that it's never gonna end, but you can just listen to it over and over again, and it just sounds really good. There's just so much. There's a claim going into this, and it just feels so intimate. It just leads me to the rise. It's just the thing of the 2000s of just do it. Just play the guitar. Just play the bass. Just play the drums. Just feel out what happens in that screen of time, and then see what happens whenever you find artist. It's like, okay, it can be as simple as just let's just get it tight. Let's meet each other mentally, and our waves of subconscious can mesh together and do something special. It's really beautiful. I feel like the sound is just, yeah, it's a good punk sound. It certainly feels like there probably were like a lot of like children of the 60s kind of thing going rejection or a heavy rejection of the 60s in a sense, but loving it all the same. Now, that's the complicated middle ground of it. I think it's time to see the 2020s. I think like there's something there we needed, but there was an excessive limit. And I think Sleater-Kinney is a perfect representation of just doing it. That's the 2000s. Yeah, just doing the do. It's as simple as that. That's what they kind of lay out here at the sound. And like one more hour, it's just got really great guitarists and drumming all throughout. It feels like it just kind of gives something that just feels like some of the best stuff to come out of the 90s, honestly. This stuff's just so cool sounding. And I really love the drumming here. It just really rocks hard. So there's certainly the feminine perspective I have now acknowledged. I think this hit me. This is the kind of women I'm looking for here. I'm a musician type women who have punk with a heart of gold, you could say, ultimately. This is quite nice, this vibe I'm feeling here. And this is, yes, the rock energy here. It's just a lot of punching around and just feeling good along the way through. And you have albums like the Hot Rock in 1999. It's very a little quieter than previously, but there's still like a sound of the guitar that reminds me of something of a chainsaw. There's just all kinds of shifts going on in the sound. And quarter three, the size of our love. There's just a lot of jingle rock going into this, and I love all that. It's just the way that all these, like they just all rock out so much. It's such a good sound. No, then they had the album All Hands on the Bad One 2000. I think there's not a lot to say. I'm still digesting a lot of particular song titles, but I'm just taking in the atmosphere and just giving an overall impression. There's just a lot that's very strong about this. Ironclad and Youth Decay, which is just kind of like just a really unique sort of, as well as Ballad of a Lady. There's just so much going on here with the swimmer. Rock and roll fun. All this is just coming together. Something that's just very different. And it reminds me of a lot of like melancholic pop, you could say. It's the good way you can describe the sound. I think a lot of that was living in the early 2000s. I think right there was the energy. When I was a kid, I always found that energy kind of draining for a reason. This is what a lot of what I'm coming back to in my childhood reflection. It's just there was an energy there. Yeah, I needed this band when I was much younger. Let's just say that. These are the kind of women who are you kind of had a rebellious undertone to them. And that's what I kind of realized is, those are the kind of women I'm seeking. A rebellious undertone with a heart of gold. You have that here with this band. It's so cool. They came out in the year 2000, and they just kind of expand the sonic palette even more with all the psychedelia living inside. You have a combat rock and the remainder. All this just comes together for just songs that just really rock hard. This is when they really further evolve their experimentation. They don't kind of synthesizer horns into it all, which is just really classic right there. That's a classic form that the band follows. Far Away at Hollywood and really emotional the entire way through. So this is definitely a really enjoyable listen the entire way through. Then you have in the year 2005, The Woods. That's my favorite album by far. This is like the album I come to because this is just epic the entire way through. I love how big the guitar sounds the entire way through the songs like the Fox. But the drumming is just very powerful. Songs like Roller Coaster and Sleep Bear that just really give something so groovy in the sonics. And again, this is like, I know they were going for like an Abbey Road kind of spirit, but this is like way heavier. So it is equally great. So yeah, even better maybe. So some of the mood hits like right now. Jumpers is so complex. That's just, I love that groove so much in the way that, I don't know, it's just really atmospheric rock and roll. That's the best way I can describe it. Because these guys got mood like the ways that Black Sabbath did, where it's just like you go into it, and you just keep the tone very dark, keep it very complicated. Songs like Entertainer just really rocking. It's like Modern Girl, which is all this irony living inside of it. Well, that's called Love. It's just like an epic. It's 11 minutes long, and it just feels consistently engaging the entire way through. So it feels like, this is just the rock and roll energy I was always looking for growing up. You had to get through all the AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and it's like, I didn't even really like that. I wanted this. I wanted the feminine side of that, not the masculine, the gritty side of rock and roll kind of feeling. I need a woman's perspective on that. But this is an album that's quite perfect. And it really does kind of give you all kinds of endlessly great perspectives in a lot of ways. And this is certainly Sleater-Kinney function. Just reminded me a lot of influence, a lot of Sonic Youth energy, certainly too. So another band that's really coming. Daydream Nation's been one of my favorite albums lately. That one really is the perfect energy. It continues a lot of what REM does with Murder, the mystical kind of feeling. And it has that the entire way through. It seems to be a lot of what the novelistic feeling is. I've been searching a lot for this novelistic tone. What is that? This album is just, this is a pretty life-changing album. It makes me quite happy to listen to it. It's really whenever, again, they threw out all the weaknesses they had on the previous albums, which is maybe not have the most consistently standout songs, but they just kind of go for a vibe and sound and just run with it. Which is nothing wrong with that. A band like Haim is kind of like that too. I'm just I'm not really going to sit down and listen to their albums, but just going on a run. It's quite awesome. But, this certainly does just go for something that's really heavy, and it feels like it is an epic closer for the band, as they kind of just really leave something consistently incredible the entire way through. Songs like The Fox just really kick. Wilderness, Let's Call It Love. All this is just literally just a lot of influence. Even a lot of the 60s stuff, like Velvet Underground, Jimi Hendrix stuff, kind of modern foundation, a lot of that, more pop. You have all these clips of entertainment. It's just, it just continues on. Just something that's just different than anything else. But it's some power to me. It's the power behind it all that really gets me. So it's pretty genius stuff there. I'm still absolutely in love with this album. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't. If you got to hear one thing by the band, it's easily that album. And then you have 2015, No Cities to Love. And that's okay. That was a comeback album. I think The Woods is considered literally their last album. So they came back to this just reunited, just because I guess a decade later passed, and they figured why not. But yeah, I mean, Techno sounds like they were influenced by like a lot of like 2010s, like a little more electronic and stuff like Apex Twin. So it's not as my all-time favorites, but it's still cool to hear them all the same. Same with like the Center Wall, which came out in 2019. That's just kind of it's okay. It reminds me of a lot of stuff St. Vincent does, who never really grabbed me quite the way stuff like Kate Bush and Bjork and all that does. But yeah, this is still pretty good stuff here. I highly recommend checking out Sleater-Kinney. They're quite an awesome band, and I'm really taking them in right now. It's something of a personal favorite here.